All right, everybody, welcome back to the NBHL Commish Chat Podcast. I'm NBHL Commissioner Anthony Sanrocco, joined by Gianni Sanrocco and TJ Janus to take you through all the happenings of the National Ball Hockey League. Fellas, how are we doing today?
We are doing great today.
Yeah, I feel like we're doing pretty good. A lot of good, fun news around the league we can get into here.
Yeah, I mean, right into it with the garage, the Kelsey brothers investing in it, garage beer.
Was the big news that broke.
Yeah.
I saw they dropped a press release and then, they were posted on the garage accounts and the Kelsey brothers did it on their podcast. So kind of exciting. We'll see what comes of it, I guess, in terms of the NBHL. But
Jason, you want to come over here?
Oh, no, sorry, brother. Not today.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do it next time. But no, it is very exciting. I don't know.
it's a brand that sponsors the NBHL and they just got two mega superstars basically behind them. So, I mean, that's great for all parties.
Yeah. And rumor has it that they did it just because they do sponsor the NBHL. That's what I heard from me right here, right now. I'm going to start that rumor.
It's fun. People have texted me some crazy stuff about them today, like asking if I have like talked to them and stuff. Like, no, we have not talked to the Kelsey. They probably don't know the NBA. I would say it's 99.9% likelihood that they don't know that the NBHL exists at this stage because the early investment stage, they're not talking about this type of stuff. But,
Hey, who knows? Maybe in one of those meetings they were like, who do you sponsor?
Yeah, I'd say 99.9 might be a little bit too high. I'd say 10% they might know about us at this stage in time.
I'll take 10.
Yeah,
I'll take 10. But it was just cool. I mean, their garage Instagram from the time of us recording right now, because it's Wednesday. This news came out Wednesday morning. They're up like 15,000 followers today. The post of them announcing it has like almost 300,000 likes right now.
On the garage beer account?
Like they had them like Jason and Travis as collaborators.
Right.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's just
Good news.
good stuff. It's cool.
Good news, good beer too.
It is good beer.
Beer flavored beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a beer that, those guys would like. It's a simple, like...
If you
just
haven't
good
drank
tasting
it at
beer.
all yet, I would recommend the lime one too. The lime one is very good.
Yeah, the limes were good. It's just tough because we get a lot of messages like, how can we get garage? How can we get the beer? And it's only available in like select states right now. Like whenever I get it like this, I drove over into Philly to get it.
I was going to say you had to have.
It's coming to a lot more states and hopefully we'll have that happen faster now that the Kelseys are on board and Day 6 next level. So I don't know.
More to come.
Next episode will be a collab with New Heights podcast, maybe. But more league stuff. We've had some posts in the past couple of weeks that have done well and have had some interesting comments on them. Our suspension post in particular, they always like get so many likes and so many people that, just mock the league and mock the suspensions we have. And it's like, we have to keep people safe here.
Yeah.
Like,
and then,
we have to do it. But it's just interesting because some of the comments on there, the ones that aren't mocking us are suggesting things. And some of the suggestions are absolutely insane. And the one was, it was Brett Holman who commented it. And it seems like he said it like kind of in jest, like he wasn't being serious, but he said one fight per season. Each player gets one fight per season. Can you imagine? Like what?
Like a punch card, a ref just punches it and then you're good. Yeah, you got your fight in.
It's like there's so many ways that could go. Like what if like teams decide like we release the season schedule in March and the Tortugas know they're playing the Dogs the last game of the year. And we're like, hey, everyone save your fight. Save it for the last game. And let's just clear the benches and go nuts. Actually, clearing the benches, you can just fight your own team on the bench, I guess. That would have to be your fight.
Just methodically planning out when to fight.
Is exactly what it would be. It would become strategic. It would be like, yo, I'm fighting so-and-so in our game second period today. Like, come on. Like, that just couldn't work. Or if someone tries to fight you after you've already fought, then what do? You probably just fight back and that's it. But by rule, we'd have to.
And then you're banned.
Yeah.
It's like tag team rules. You got to tap out and let someone else get in for you.
Yeah.
Who still has their punch card left.
On the other hand, though, I think some of the other comments I saw in there, like the supportive ones were like, guys, like this is a national league, like they need to like actually, have suspensions and processes and, keep the players safe. and all that type of thing. So, people do understand. I mean, half of them are probably like just joking, right? But we like to see those ones too.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I always like go to the negative on these because it's just crazy sometimes what is said. But yeah, we see most of the comments, I'd say. And, every year it starts off hot. There's a lot of intensity and, things have to kind of level out. Like, I feel like we get suspension heavy in the beginning. It slows down. Then it kind of starts to peak back up again. So hopefully it doesn't peak back up. But knowing me saying that right now on this podcast, it probably will. But, there's some of the comments, like someone said that how we randomly lose footage of the suspendable events. We don't randomly lose it. We purposely edit it out of the games.
Oh, they're thinking that
they're thinking like we just happen to lose it. It is a purposeful thing. We keep that
protect you.
Yeah, like we don't like.
You don't want your boss going and looking you up on YouTube and seeing you get into a scrap on Sunday night. Like that's not what you want in your personal life.
Yeah, like some of these crazy fights, but just altercations that happen could end up, clipped and distributed to your employer, and it's just not a good thing.
There's just things that happen in these games sometimes where like you would not want that to become public. You wouldn't. And people say like that stuff would go viral. It's like we don't want to go viral for that stuff. Like that's not what we want to get known by. And it's just we talk about it all the time. Like we miss things. There are things that don't get suspended that probably should, but like we do our best to catch everything because we have hundreds of games every weekend. Like, that's 100. If we have 100 games, it's 100 hours of games. I mean, we don't have 100 hours.
Yeah, unless if we don't get a report or something like that.
Yeah. We have people that sift through, but stuff gets missed. But, the comments are fun. I don't think we posted that last year, the suspension update. I think we did the first time in 2022. I think we forgot last year.
I was gonna say, I feel like we did.
I know we've done it before, but yeah, we might have forgotten last year.
But yeah, this year it was fun. It was fun.
A ton of engagement for the wrong reasons.
How the suspensions been since we put up that post and sent out the letter from the commish?
I actually don't want to discuss it because I don't want to jinx it.
Okay. All right.
But there's still been suspensions, but I will leave it at that.
Okay.
Maybe the less we talk about them, the less they'll happen.
I know. I feel like we're a broken record.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone that actually frequently listens to this podcast. How often we talk about suspensions?
Minutes are just about suspensions.
All right, let's try to make that the last. I don't think we have anything else about suspensions in this outline, so we'll call it quits there. Next post that got a lot of controversy was our Pride logo post. We changed our logo to the Pride logo every single Pride month, every single year. And this year, I'm not sure why, but the comments were just so over the top. And like, June is Pride month. Hockey is for everyone. I don't want to get too deep into it, but, obviously we support the LGBTQ community. We have a lot of those players in this league. And, we got some merchandise coming out to, we're going to donate to You Can Play team and support. But,
yeah, the merch is sick. Like I was like, this might be our best merch out of anything. So that's high praises from me, I think. But yeah, I'm excited for people to see that.
Any notes on that?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's wild that it wasn't even a post that we put out. It was just us. It was just us changing the logo, and that happened to do an automatic Facebook notification, and just went wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's without getting too crazy into it. I mean, obviously there's an election year, so people are very, very ready to, voice their opinions, and I'll kind of leave it at that.
Facebook.
But yeah, especially on Facebook. But yeah, I mean, we saw positive ones, of course, and negative ones, of course. But
yeah, supportive ones were great. The negative ones were unfortunate. But it's Pride Month. We're happy to show support.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into other social media content. We did our first skit finally. We finally released the Bettman skit. That
one was in the archive for like a month or so.
And we did that before the season started, or maybe the first week?
I think it was the first week we did the podcast
episode, right? Yeah. But that was fun to do. We have now filmed more, and they'll be rolling out over the next few weeks. And something different. I feel like we ripped the Band-Aid off with the first one. I was a little nervous for the first one.
Well, that was a lot of you in that first one, too.
Yeah, I still don't feel... I mean, I don't even watch the podcast back because I don't like looking at myself. Like, it's very weird. But at least, like, I'm sure people generally tell us if they hate something. No one commented directly that they hated that one. So, I guess that's a win for us.
Right. I just saw, more content like this. And I mean, that was... we spent the last Saturday filming, for a few hours, a bunch more of skits. And I mean, it was super fun and, little creative outlet for us to do and kind of bring some humor to it. And I don't know, it's a little change of pace and fun.
Yeah, different content than just like the highlights that we pump out. Because we've had those all the years and now it's kind of something new on the feed, and it's fresh and it's engaging, and people seem to like it the first one.
Yeah, so if you're local to the office in South Jersey too, like we're going to need people to be a part of our skits at some point. We got a couple ideas that involve, players and fans and things like that. So if you're interested in the area, let us know. And we would love to get you your chance to win an Oscar.
A little cameo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Another video we did was our Save of the Year video, which was... so stupid. I've seen MLB do posts where like a guy catches a routine pop up and they have the announcer going crazy and then the caption's like unbelievable catch or something. So we're like, all right, let's give that a shot. And it's amazing how many people just went like way over their head. But I don't know, it was fun. It did well. Like a lot of people seemed to watch it and commented on it.
Like, is this serious? Or like, was that a real, do they think this was nice?
And
like,
the people in the comments like playing along, like, what are you talking about? That was a highlight reel save. That better be on top place.
Yeah. The people that became part of the bit, I very much appreciate that. That was awesome.
When we were first cutting that too, you had me go out and find like clips, and I sent you one. It was a guy like entering the zone and he takes a shot at the blue line. It hits the goalie in the chest and goes in, and you went, that's too good. People aren't going to get it if it's that good. It has to be so blatantly obvious that it's just a wrister from way outside the zone that no one could take it seriously.
I don't even think that ball like left the ground on that shot. So it's like,
yeah. Shout out to Ben Berger with the Save of the Year. He was the one in net for that.
We love Ben, our data guy.
Well done, Ben. And Phillies game, we did our little Phillies game thing.
fun.
Something we haven't done before. We just figured it's an opportunity to get our staff together, our interns together, whoever's able to make it, obviously, because not everybody's local to here, but just to hang out and,
yeah, we just did a little tailgate. Like I hadn't met, some of the interns, so it was fine. Nice to finally meet some of them in person. And then, we obviously did a little tailgate before the game and set up the net and had some kids walking up, taking shots and stuff. I'd say
a lot of kids walked up and took shots.
Well, it was crazy because Strive and I were the first two to get there, and we set up and put the tent up. And before we even had the tent fully set up, we had kids come over and be like, because they saw the hockey net because we got that out, and they're like, what's going on here? And we're like, we're playing hockey. And they're like, can I try? And I was like, yeah, sure, give it a shot. And then they all started like picking up the ball and throwing it and trying to see how hard they could throw it. And I'm like, no, we're playing hockey. And what we said to them was, if you shoot the ball over 50 miles an hour, we'll give you a hat. And we had hats we were giving away. And none of the kids were hockey players. So they were all kind of, figuring it out. And they were trying to make deals. And it was everyone in their family's birthday. And it's like they try to give every reason to get a hat without having to shoot the ball 50 miles an hour. A couple kids eventually did. So we gave them hats. At the end, we ended up just kind of giving some away. But the kids were funny.
And their parents were like just chilling a couple spots away, happy for the free entertainment for their kids for the tailgate.
Oh, yeah. We should have charged them. We were babysitting, essentially. Like, how many kids do you think were over by us?
Like a good 20 or so?
Yeah, 20, 25. It was...
Half of them didn't know how to hold a hockey stick. So we had to teach them that, which was kind of fun. And then teaching them how to shoot the ball. And they're like, how do I do this? Like half were like golf shotting it. The other half were just like not making contact with the ground. So it was kind of funny to see.
One kid took a shot that missed the net, hit the hill behind, went in the air, and then hit a car in the parking lot that had both people sitting in the car.
And he didn't do anything.
And I was like, oh God. And I looked over and I don't know if the guy didn't notice or didn't care, but like he just sat there and like didn't acknowledge it. And we just ran and got the ball and ran back. Like I was trying to I was trying to wait and be like, hey, like, sorry. And like he wouldn't look up. So like, all right, I guess he didn't notice it happened. So there's no damage at least. It was just, they weren't shooting terribly hard as we said, but it was just, it was funny. It was fun. It was a good time.
And then explaining what the National Ball Hockey League to a few of them was kind of funny. They're like, around the country, or like, like think of like the MLB, but for ball hockey. Yeah. Like they, putting it through their heads. It was funny.
The one picture we posted was hilarious of you too.
Yeah, I just took a slap shot straight into like 8 kids and they all got hurt.
It was so funny.
Yeah. And it was a good game too. Good Phillies game.
Yeah, went extra innings, right?
Extra innings. They won at the bottom of the 10th.
Yep. It's a good time. Then the other post we started with Rob Stefanelli doing awesome stuff. He did Ball Hockey 101. He talked about the deck. We've got more of those coming. And it was great. Like he just finished college, so he's back here. So he's going to be doing more content and things along those lines. But I didn't realize Ball Hockey 101 is a taken name in the social media space by.
Yeah, I realized that afterwards too.
Yeah. Because I saw, so Matt Fair, for anyone who doesn't know, he's involved with some of the national teams. He's a coach and plays in the NBHL. And he saw me at the rink and he made a comment about the name Ball Hockey 101. And like, it never clicked to me when Rob sent it to me that Ball Hockey 101 was what Matt had already been posting. So it's a great page, Ball Hockey 101, if you want to check it out. And he will take NBHL clips and he'll break down the play, say, this is why this happened. This player made a good play. This player made a mistake. It really goes in depth and you learn a lot. Like I've learned a lot of stuff just from watching his videos. And our bad, Matt. We didn't realize we're changing the name for the next one. It won't be Ball Hockey 101, but there will be more content like that from Rob. The one with the deck was great too because Rob was talking a little shit during it to like people that play on concrete. And it was good. It was just good. But yeah.
So I saw Matt Fair, like some of the comments on his, on the Ball Hockey 101 videos, like players that are getting, called out for their mistakes or whatever, or just like, thanks, Matt. Like, I didn't need to see that, or whatever. Kind of funny.
One of his videos that he posted was of the Tortugas' first game of the year. We played Night's Watch and we literally lost the opening draw. It went into the defensive zone. We turned the ball over and they scored immediately. And I was the center on the play.
Yeah.
I was literally watching it and I'm like, okay, when am I going to get called out here? When is he going to make fun of me for something I did here? And he didn't. So thank you. But I mean, I thought I could have gotten ripped apart for that play. And I guess he was, what's the term? I was spared there.
Yeah, that was spared.
But
I didn't see that one. Did you rip me for letting up the goal?
No, not really, honestly.
I'll take it. I'll eat it if I need to.
Yeah.
I remember there was one play last year where Steve Sion pulled a Michigan off on me. And during the play, I turned around to try to poke the ball out of the net. And afterwards, I got a text from Corey Hirsch. She was like, hey, what are you turning around like that for? You don't need to do that. I was like, oh, that's just what I need. I get Michigan, and then I have the coach of the national team telling me it was a mistake.
Then Stanley Cup talk real quick, where we did a little reel. And now there's another, Rob and Sienna paired up for that. And they set up at the rink and Rob had a board and said, Stanley Cup Finals, who do you have, Oilers or Panthers? And everybody said who they thought was going to win. And at the time of us recording right now, it is 2-0 Panthers. It'll be maybe 3-0 by the end of tonight, right? They play tonight? Or?
No, they play tomorrow.
They had extra off travel day.
Tonight's NBA.
Actually saw something about the travel. They apparently is it Florida? Yeah, Florida's flying to Edmonton. It's a super long flight, diagonal, and they got super delayed and stuff. So they're not getting there till super late tonight or something
really?
that. Yeah. So people were speculating.
Yeah, it's a tough flight. With the time change and stuff, that's they have I saw they have a lot of bigger gaps built in for the finals than usual.
I think Bob, just to get into it a tiny bit, I think Bobrovsky has 50 of 51 saves right now or something like that.
Oh, he's unreal.
Insane. He's say carrying them, but, definitely getting them in a position to win.
Feels bad as a Flyers fan who traded him away when he was a
youngster.
young, promising goaltender.
As of right now, the NBHLers in that video do not know puck because the voting results in that video was overwhelming for the Oilers, and they're down 2-0 right now.
Wow.
So maybe I'll eat my words, but I mean, I'd like to see McDavid win.
Yeah, that's kind of who I wanted to win, but imagine being a Florida Panther fan and going to back cups and not winning.
Yeah, that's got to be heartbreaking if they don't do it.
That is true. Other stuff right now, we've got some cool stories on our website. Joe Shea, Dara Johnson have written these articles for us, and one of them is about Nick Carter. He's playing in Mass Tier 1 on the Leominster Stars. Oh my God, no. I take that back. Oak Ridge Owls. And he's also on the national team. He's, arguably the best defenseman in the sport. Very, very strong argument that he is. And he does this St. Jude's Fitness for a Cure fundraiser every year. It raises money for kids with cancer. It's raised over $7 million throughout all the years that he's done it. And it just kind of goes in depth of what he does and how he does it. And it's just a great read. I highly recommend you find it on the website and check it out. Nick's a great dude. And another article about Lee Detmer, who you work with, right?
Yes. Yeah, he works at my company.
Yeah. And he plays for the Phoenix in DC Tier 2. Played on the PGA Tour Canada for about 4 years. Played D1 golf at Wake Forest.
But yeah, I think he played ice hockey growing up too, throughout those years. But I don't know if he ever really got into ball hockey yet when he was younger. It was more focused on the ice and golf. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see it come back around and find another athletic outlet.
Yeah. Yeah. And then speaking of that is Ashley DeChico. She's in Pittsburgh women's tier. She's on the Murraysville Mad Hatters. She plays for the Pittsburgh Passion of the Women's Football Alliance. It's 11-11 on women's football. And she's on her team's top 5 in the U.S. I was actually looking. I think they're undefeated. I think they were 5-0 right now. In the whole league, it's set up relatively similar to ours. It looks like teams, they're traveling and paying their way to go places, and the players pay to play.
Right.
But then there's they have a national championship. They have 3 tiers of skill. Their Tier 1 has the least teams. Tier 2 is more. Tier 3 has the most.
Did they copy our format?
No, they're before us.
Yeah.
They started 2009 or something like that.
I figured.
But her position is called monster.
I love that.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does a monster do?
It's a combination of outside linebacker and strong safety.
Trying to think of a NFL player that I can in that bucket, but
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
But it's the most badass position name I've ever heard in any sport. And I don't know, it sounds like she's in a similar spot with that where we are with ball hockey, where she's trying to promote it and says she's gone to Costa Rica, Colombia. She's going to go to Mexico and the Netherlands to promote her, women's tackle football. But it's another really cool read. It's one of the lengthier reads we have on our site because it really goes in depth of her background and that stuff. But we have a lot more articles like that in the works right now too. So we're just trying to get more creative content and just relating to the players and hearing about their lives outside of just ball hockey. So if you know anybody who's got a story along that line, let us know. We've got plenty of writers that are eager to write more stories.
Yeah, we have thousands of players, so there's got to be someone with something interesting going on. So yeah, reach out.
And transitioning to the World Championships coming up. So June 21st to 29th, the USA men's national and women's national teams are heading to Switzerland to play in the World Championships. So it's over a week long. It's a long tournament, and I think the highest finishes is women's have silver and men's have silver. It's silver for both,
they
right?
Both had silver. I believe the men's had gotten a gold back when they were in the B group to advance.
There was one a long time ago they won a gold.
I don't think in the A group, the highest level of world's competition, I think their highest is silver.
Okay.
Back at that 2015 tournament in Pittsburgh.
That's right.
2015, I'm looking US silver.
2015 wasn't. I don't think it was in Pittsburgh though.
Tournament?
The tournament? I think it was.
Zug, Switzerland.
Okay, never mind.
The one where they won the gold was in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what you're thinking.
That's where I must be getting it mixed up.
Looking at the record here on the site, it goes back to 96. I don't see.
I think that was the first one.
Yeah. Yes, silver. Here. Oh,
But the way men's is broken up, there's 2 A brackets. Group A1 is Great Britain, Slovakia, Greece, Haiti, and Canada. They'll all play each other in round robin. Group A2 is Italy, Finland, Switzerland, USA, and Czechia.
Czech. I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever that country is now referred to as. And they play each other in round robin. And then there's a B bracket, which is Lebanon, Cayman Islands, Portugal, France, Armenia, and Bermuda. So 16 total teams in the men's bracket. And then women's has USA, Slovakia, Great Britain, Switzerland, Czechia, Canada, and then United Nations, which
I think that's a new one. Yeah. I haven't seen that before.
I've never seen that either, but I don't know. I guess it's
getting more teams in there, obviously.
I'm hoping what it is they just pulled together a bunch of high caliber women's players from countries that don't have enough to field a team. That makes sense what it would be. And that's pretty awesome if that's how they're doing that.
Yeah, more talent playing at the world level is always a good thing.
Yeah, there's 23 teams there that are going to Switzerland in the next week. I know people are starting to head out in the next week or so, I guess. Strive is already in Europe, gallivanting in Portugal right now, but
Portugal.
He'll be over there, doing content, helping out that USA Ball hockey content team with Declan and and EJ, who helped us out with the Milec Cup as well last year. But so the way the format works, and I spent a little bit trying to figure it out, but so the prelim rounds for the men's are the 21st to the 25th of June. Each team's playing 1 game per day. And then, so there's 10 teams in the 2A brackets. And again, I might be wrong on this, but this is the way I was interpreting the brackets. But it looked like the 2 number 5 seeds in the A bracket automatically drop to the B bracket. And then the number 4 seeds in the A1 bracket and the A2 bracket play the top 2 seeds in the B bracket. And the winner of those games advance to the A and the losers drop to the B. So when you get to the playoffs, it's split 8 and 8. So there's 8 teams in the A and 8 teams in the B. And I guess in theory, up to 4 teams from the A bracket could drop to the B. If those 5 seeds drop and the 4 seeds lose their games, there's playing games versus the number 1 seeds from the B bracket.
So they award like a whole nother world championship in the B.
I believe so, yeah.
They have that last time? I don't remember that.
I think they do.
I think they do, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure who won, though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I forget, but I was there. It must have been going on the other rink, day. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to watch these games. And I mean, the time change, I think, is like 6 hours. But
yeah, the time change is a little rough. I think some of those games are like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I was picking out the one men's game is Sunday, the 23rd against Finland. It should be like a 2:15 Eastern, start time. So that's the one I'm aiming to watch in full and be focused on. But
yeah. I'll just have like my TV screen in the background during the workday watching the recorded game because I want to.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I want to watch them, but like it's just if it's at 3 a.m., I'm just not going to be able to do that.
For the medal rounds, I'll get up early and watch. Yeah. But for the prelims, I can catch it after the fact.
We believe in you guys.
Yeah.
And then the women's format's a little different. So they have 7 teams, and top 4 made the playoffs. So it just goes semifinals, finals, and the playoffs don't start till the 27th for women's. It looks like the 5 and 7 teams kind of have like a 3-game round robin where 5 plays 6, 5 plays 7, and then 7 plays 6. That is not necessarily a playoff, it didn't look like. It's just something separate, I guess, to determine who wins the number 5 spot at the tournament. But then, top 4 is semis and finals to see who wins. But I can't wait to watch. There's a lot of NBHLers on these, these USA teams. No one on Canada yet that I know of from the NBHL. So
maybe next year.
Hopefully next year. Yeah.
They won't have the tournament next year, but the following.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, because they're only doing men's and juniors this year because of COVID and everything, and then they're going to go back to alternating after this, right?
Well, the juniors, so juniors U18. So juniors is July 4th to 7th in Slovakia, and that's U18 men's, U18 women's, U16 men's, and U14 men's, is my understanding. And then U20 and U23 would be next year. I think the juniors are now not all together. It's alternating.
Yeah, but didn't in the past they would do 1 year it would be juniors and 1 year it would be men or the seniors. I don't know. Men's and women's.
Yeah. I think it alternates now to juniors, and like the masters are paired with the other juniors.
Okay.
Again, we could be completely wrong on all of this, but this is from my, ISBHF website research that I did earlier.
Yeah. And then just to mention that I mentioned that men's game. A good women's game to catch is Tuesday the 25th versus Canada. 9 a.m. start Eastern.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. So
nice rivalry
definitely
matchup.
tuning into that one as I start my workday.
Oh, that'll be nice. Is there any other that are like in a normal
Doesn't
time?
really look, not really. 3 a.m. Not looking great. I didn't really look into the playoffs yet either, but again, we'll just wake up for those.
Yeah. And I also want to just acknowledge the ISBHF on social media. Like the comments on Instagram have been crazy.
Yeah.
They've been like dissing people and like
a different angle than before, than years prior.
Yeah, it seems like the comments that have been hating on our posts, but then like ISBHF is just like International Street and Ball Hockey Federation is commenting, which is, I'm certain it's getting engagement, which I guess is what they're looking for, but it's just some wild stuff. And then shifting back to NBHL, Monday Night Ball Hockey, we've had good weeks in a row.
Yeah,
Let's go. We're back.
Some success from the last time that we had this podcast. We were having internet issues in Massachusetts, so we ended up having to buy a 200-foot Ethernet cord to hook up to the local or to the nearest internet connection, and it worked perfectly. It was great.
Those sound ridiculous when you say 200 foot. But yeah, hooking directly into the Wi-Fi obviously is paying dividends right now for our stream quality and operation. Is last 2 days ago was probably our cleanest one from a tech side. So
yeah, we had
good to see.
Audio. We've had some audio issues the past two, but the audio was great, video was great, feed was great, and the games, two really good games too.
Casey Cormier, shout out Casey for getting everything set up for us. And then the video skill, the camera work, just top tier. Unbelievable. I guess we owe a thank you to the Springfield, what's it called? Falcons? Or is it Thunderbirds? Who were the
Thunderbirds, I want to say.
Falcons.
Who are the Falcons?
Thunder Falcons.
They're a former ice hockey team. Yeah, Thunderbirds is a new team. But Casey got some experience doing some camera work for them. And then it has benefited the NBHL because he did a very good job on our live stream.
Oh, the Springfield. Okay, yeah, the Falcons were a team at some point, so I wasn't.
They
just rebranded to the Thunderbirds.
Unreal obscure ice hockey knowledge there.
Yeah,
that's like some
the NHL video game. I saw
old school NHL be a pro. Your guy was on that team for like a season or something like that.
But we're out of Massachusetts now. That was their third Monday night. The first one we weren't able to do, but the second and third went off great. So they're going back to Sunday. So Monday Night Ball Hockey's taking a little bit of a hiatus right now.
Yeah. I mean, between that, the Worlds makes a lot of tier ones not able to play too. So that interferes. So we're going to have some live streams. We've got a couple specific games I know we want to get streaming. I don't want to say them here just because I don't want to, set any expectations that aren't going to happen. But we've got some more stuff that we're going to hopefully get going and get some more Monday Night Ball Hockey. I guess like back in July is when we're going to try to get more going.
Yeah, everyone will be back from Worlds. I know in New Jersey we have some Monday nights for our playoff games that if it does go to Game 3, we'll get them up on the live stream. If we can
Game 3 action would be sweet.
Yeah, those will be cool. And then, usually on this podcast, well, first of all, is that Monday Night Ball Hockey? Is everything covered? Is there anything else we need to touch on? We're pretty good.
No, I think we hit it all.
It's just going.
But so usually right here is where I basically talk at Gianni and TJ for 30 minutes about every division. And we're going to try something different this week where we're just calling it NBHL, like the NBHL 5. And it's just 5 key events that happened over the last 2 weeks in the NBHL. We're going to touch on them, elaborate on them, and just, it's basically just 5 of the best storylines that we have. First thing is we had our first ever NBHL games in Colorado.
I was pissed.
Really?
I was pissed.
Not the reaction I expected.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one weekend I end up being in Dallas, Texas, and they're on the schedule.
Right.
They're just not in Texas. They're in Colorado. So I was like, God damn it. I would have definitely gone over and watched some games.
That's right.
But otherwise, good stuff that they traveled out there. No.
Yeah, so we've had the Colorado Massive now. This is their second year playing in the Texas division, and they've been doing the traveling. So they've now flown to Texas 3 times to play in the NBHL. Or maybe driven. I learned it is drivable. It's like a 9 or 10 hour drive, maybe. But this year, the Marksmen, they wanted to do games in Colorado. The Marksmen were the team that was the most available to do it. So they had their whole team minus like 1 or 2 players. They flew out there. They said, they played at a place called Parker Fieldhouse, which is a little bit outside of Denver. I think it's like 30 to 45 minutes. Right now it's saying it's an hour, but I guess it's rush hour right now as we're doing this. So
maybe I didn't realize they played 3 games like before they went. And then when I was like doing the YouTube videos, I was like, wow, they just played each other 3 times. Just like the same thumbnails and stuff. So it was funny.
Yeah, they had an awesome 3-game series. All 3 games were 3-2 games. I think one of them was either a shootout or overtime. They're 2 very evenly matched teams, but when speaking to some of the players, they had an awesome experience. It was, great to give Colorado some home games after,
Sure, they were thankful for that.
Yeah. So hopefully we can do more of that in the coming years, maybe get to a whole Colorado division. Yeah.
I think I was saying to G the other day, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we could like somehow map out like the amount of travel that has gone on in like the NBHL, like miles or something like that, or, which team traveled the most or something like that.
It's got to be ridiculous.
Yeah. Some of these teams. But
I mean, the teams that traveled the most has to be the Bay Area Bashers.
Yeah.
And they've been to the Mila Cup twice and they fly for their games.
Yeah.
And probably the Burger Boys and the Shiners who came to the Mila Cup and the Cold Snacks out in Seattle.
So maybe next year we'll track a team's miles.
I'd be interested. Oh, and Red River too. They've come to Mila Cup twice now from Texas.
Let's just track Brendan Garneau's miles. He's playing all over the country.
Or a player, yeah.
He's probably got to be the most individually traveled player.
Yeah.
Oh, the other idea we had was that we send a player that can just play in any division at any point during the season. So just send me to any division on a weekly basis, and it'll just be
just the league
one person
the
can do it.
Card player.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be really
and just
funny.
like follow them, for like a YouTube series or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that would be sick.
Just no announcement. You just show up in Indiana one day
with the team's jersey and all that stuff.
Hey, I'm on the pack for this weekend. Who the hell are you? Number 2 is New England Tier 3 First Division to finish their regular season
already.
Already
A record, probably, right?
It's the soonest we've had a division finish their regular season in the NBHL. They do bi-weekly doubleheaders, and they have a big gap now. They don't start their playoffs till I think it's June 30th. So there's a nice June is pretty empty for them.
The New England gap.
Yeah. But the Gansett Lobsters, they came back. They, studied ball hockey abroad in California last year, and they came back and now are the number 1 seed. So they did well out there. And the Spindle City Falcons, they're 1 point behind in second place. They actually played each other in the regular season finale, and the Falcons beat the Lobsters for the Lobsters' first loss of the season in that game. So it was a great game, and I don't know, that's a really good, very, very strong Tier 3. Hopefully push it up to a Tier 2 next year, honestly. They look good. But yeah, it's exciting to see regular seasons end already. I said to Straub, like, hey, we got to get moving on these playoff graphics. Right. We gotta get ready here.
Yes.
Yeah, thank God they had that big break.
I know. Number 3, Women's Tier Pittsburgh. All 4 teams right now are 3-3. it's crazy because to start the year, the Riddlers and the
pulling away, right?
yeah, and them and the Slashers were both like they both started. It was started off 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, 0-3. And now each team over the last 3 games has had pretty much the exact opposite record to make everything dead even. I think the Slashers have 10 points in the standings, and I want to say the Mad Hatters have 8 just because there was an overtime game. But for all 4 teams to have the same record is just crazy.
Yeah, that is heard of.
Are they all the same like regulation and overtime wins, or is some of that a little mixed up?
No, that was like there was one overtime game that the Slashers won. So they have 1 extra point.
They're ruining the symmetry.
I know. 10-9-9-8 right now, but they're locked in. It's close. It's just cool. Cool little
nugget.
Yeah, little nugget. Number 4, New England Scorpions. They beat the Boston Blackhawks on Monday Night Ball Hockey this past Monday to take the number 1 seed in the Massachusetts division for the first time this year. So they're the number 1 spot. Oak Ridge Owls, they lost to the Stars that night, so they dropped to the number 2 seed. And this is the first time since 2022 that a team other than the Leominster Stars or Oak Ridge Owls have been in first place in Mass Tier 1. Do you know who the other team was that was last in first place?
I assume you're counting the Crooks as the Stars, or is that...
That was the trick.
Oh. Sorry. I'm too good.
But if we are counting them, so let's say we are counting the Crooks. I even looked further past, like if we are counting the Crooks, who's the last team to do it besides the Crooks? Because the Crooks, for everyone who doesn't know, the Crooks turned into the Leominster Stars. They're basically the same team.
I want to go Twin City Classics. I don't know why.
Oh, what was it?
Maybe like one, like
I can't think of
2
the
early games or something. No.
Was it Molinari's team? What was they called the
Lowell Lizard Kings?
Yeah, was it?
Wow, that was a great logo. I miss the Lizard Kings.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of.
No, the answer is the catchiest name in NBHL history, the Central Mass Sea Bass.
Wow, that's right.
Forgot about the Bass.
Yeah,
what great logos to start that Massachusetts division.
Yeah. So they were the last team in 2022. It was towards the end of the year. It was right at the top. I think it was the Sea Bass, the Crooks, and the Owls were all like the top 3 teams. But yeah, Scorpions now at the top spot.
Yeah, former classics on that team, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to see them up there.
And they looked really good on Monday Night Ball Hockey because we don't really get to watch a lot of games front to back, but obviously for Monday Night Ball Hockey we have to because we're sitting here doing it, and that was really my first time sitting down and really watching them, and they looked really good. Like they moved the ball well, they got a lot of speed. Like it's a good team.
The shootout was insane. Like no one could get a shot off. It felt like.
It lasted a while, right?
Yeah, it was like I don't know, probably like 5 or 6 rounds of just no goals. Scorpions ended it.
So Scorpions number 1 spot. Number 5, we had our first ever NBHL stream in the Pacific Northwest Division. Shout out to Memory Video Productions, Joey Delgado and his crew. And of course, going out the Pacific Northwest, it poured. It rained. And, that rink is it's not like deck, it's like sport court. So when that rains, it becomes very, very slick. And mixed response on teams wanting to play and not wanting to play. We ultimately decided to do it. If you watch the stream, it's slick out there.
Yeah.
Like you can tell those players were having a lot of trouble keeping their traction, but thankfully, no injuries. We had some good games, and we finally got some exposure for the Pacific Northwest Division, which is taken us too long to get there. But
I think I watched like a clip, or like a 30-second clip, and they're just sliding around. I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
Doesn't look the best.
Yeah, we were running games in Jersey at the time, and I was tuning in when I could, and every time I tuned in, I'd see somebody slip or fall, and I was like, oh, geez. So yeah, we'll work on that for. Bless you. Wow.
Thank you. Knock it off.
That's the first in-pod sneeze ever, I think.
We're keeping that in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We have to keep that in. But yeah, we're hoping, rain does not become a factor for the playoff weekend. That's also outdoors. And, I'll talk with Eric, who runs that division, does an amazing job about just, think plan B is ready in case it does rain. But again, it happened. Games went on well. Players weren't hurt. Like everybody, I talked to people afterwards. Everyone said they had a good time. So considered it went pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite the commitment travel into that rink too. So it's like you don't want to cancel the games and stuff. So
yeah, that's the rink that you have to take a ferry over to. So it's a lot of work to get there, especially all the guys coming up from Portland. Like it's a lot. In Pacific Northwest passion.
Yes, the true fashion. Yeah.
Word. Which it usually doesn't this time of year. Usually this time of the year is beautiful. But bonus, I just wanted to talk about Tortugas beat Night's Watch, and specifically Alex Higuereta had the most disgusting empty netter I've ever seen in my life.
It was a really nice empty. No. The second most disgusting empty netter you've ever seen in your life. Even the second most disgusting empty netter the Tortugas have had.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I didn't see
2019 EBHL Casey Graham. Look it up.
Did you just angle someone?
No, we just lobbed it from the full rink. But we just
not as nice as Robbie Snyder's full rink.
No, definitely not. But
former captain of the Night's Watch for those who don't follow the New Jersey League closely. So that was a big goal for him.
Yeah, so and
a big win.
Yes. Big win for us. And then we lost our second game to the Top Gun. So
with like 20 seconds left.
That was rough. So not part of the 5 key events, but just wanted to give Higgy a little love here for that. But
5 key events and a bonus.
And then what's it called? You want to do the Q&A, Teach?
Sure. So for Q&A this week, thanks for submitting questions on our Instagram. And also just want to mention we have that broadcast channel that on Instagram where you can join and we can like send you messages and you get them, in real time. Like we'll be like, hey, go like this post. Hey, the Kelsey brothers just invested in Garage Beer. Go check this out. So it's kind of another communication medium for us to get to you guys. So that'll be cool.
If you're not getting enough NBHL content, we can give you more. Okay. Join that.
For the first question, when are the next power rankings coming out from Aaron Tolles?
And last year we only did 1 power ranking. I don't know if you guys remember. We had 2, but then like it was dipped into the playoffs and like it was weird ranking teams are already eliminated and stuff. But the plan is, I think the week of the 23rd, we're going to have power rankings out. We're starting to compile rankings now, and obviously they will change because teams are playing, but we're prepping now, and that week of the 23rd, we will have our second set of power rankings out.
And probably our last set because, as you said, like last year, we can't start doing them once playoffs are out.
Teams are overlapping and stuff, yeah.
You know what would be cool to do is like a Milet Cup, NBHL Cup power rankings.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would piss people off.
Okay. Next question. What is the fate of Tier 1 next season from Desperado_14?
Yeah, the fate is, I feel very good about Tier 1 next year. I think this year was a big transition period with a lot of cap changes and movement around of teams and, a lot of people dropping to Tier 2 that probably should be in Tier 1. And we've got, again, I don't want to say anything because I don't like to speak it till it happens, but we've got a lot planned for Tier 1 next year, and it's going to feel different. It's going to be different. And it's going to be bigger.
Bigger and better.
Yep.
Hey, this one's kind of for me. Is there a link where we can find history of the NBHL, Milet Cup champs, finalists from the NBHL Murder Hornets? We do not have one yet, but it is on my list of things to do, and compiling all that stuff and putting it in a presentable format, is definitely needed on the site. So yes, we will get that soon.
Yeah, not even just like Milet Cup champs and like finalists and whatnot, but like, I think this off season we're going to try to integrate like stats too, and like, you can click a player and see all 4 years of their NBHL stats and stuff like that. We're working on getting the history on there. We know we're slacking a little on that, but we're
definitely
collectively trying to compile it on because it's a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, it's like 4 different websites. Well, I mean, it's not that hard to find the champs and stuff like that, but for a basic, rundown of champs and division finalists and things like that, the bigger project is definitely what you just mentioned is the, all 4 years of stats all being on, the same site basically is going to be a challenge, but
we're working on it. Yeah.
Next question. Can we please change the center line icing rule? next year from Dubes96.
If the ISBHF changes the international rules that center line is no longer icing,
We'll still keep it as red line.
no, we're never changing. No, if they change it, that's the only reason we would. But if they're not changing it, which I don't know why they would, is how we will continue to roll.
Yeah,
I prefer center line icing. I think it makes for better hockey. It's less get to the blue line and then just dump it and chase it and go after it. It's more controlled exits. The offensive team can hold the pressure in the zone anymore because they don't have to worry about challenging that guy when they get to the blue line. They can hold the red line and
no
be
free
confident
outs.
no one's just gonna zip it by them and dump it into the zone.
Yeah, it's just like the blue line, dump it in, and you're out of your zone. It's just like, you got to work for it a little bit. You gotta get past that red line without icing it.
Yeah, and I think we hear all the time like the first couple weeks are just loaded with icing calls, and it's just players adjust. You get used to it, but it ends up makes you have to think a little bit more. It makes you smarter hockey players. So,
no, Dubes 96. We will not change the rule. And lastly, no other questions, but happy Father's Day to all the dads in the NBHL, or if you're not in the NBHL, still have a great Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, and
that's it.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to this podcast. Remember, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and make sure you follow us on all those channels and check out the videos.
Join us next week with special guest Taylor Swift.
Ow.
Taylor Swift and Jason, but not Travis.
That's it.